Hello, Lou. So I'm gonna be with you because teacher is going to be like attending multiple things right now. So I'll be introducing you in a while. If you can let me know when we can start.
Okay, thank you. I'm ready whenever everyone is. We're 5 minutes earlier, right? So I'm
Yes.
here to
Yeah, yeah.
wait for everyone. We can
Sure.
start at three sharp. I mean, at 5 p.m. sharp if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Also, just a question. Can you share your screen? Do you have the
Yeah.
permissions to share the screen for your presentation? Otherwise, I can do.
Yes, I do.
Then that's great then.
I'm guessing you're seeing it now, right? The presentation? Yes. Okay, awesome.
Welcome, Julissa. Welcome.
Thank you, teacher.
Welcome, Montserrat. Welcome, Heidi. Welcome. Welcome, teacher, today.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Welcome, Diana. Welcome, Hasnin. Welcome, Joanny. Welcome, Patricia. Teacher Sandra, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Andre. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a very big
Good
pleasure to
afternoon.
be here. Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to this.
Teacher Luz, would you like to wait a couple more minutes, or are you ready to start?
Whenever I am ready to start. Whenever you tell me, it's good.
It's already 5:02, so.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome, Teacher Luz. Thank you everybody for your participation. We're so glad to see the audience that we have today, since this is the very, very first time that our school, the Normal from Valladolid, hosts an event aimed for teachers and students, and some students from English advanced students that we have. And it's very important because the number of participants here show us interest from everybody, and we're very glad that we have some students, since in our context from Yucatan, our students tend to be with a basic and beginner level mostly. So having students today is a very good thing for us. However, we thought this is an opportunity, even though we don't have that many students with an advanced level. We have a good opportunity here to see each other, to interact, to share some ideas from different escuelas normales, and we are deeply thankful for everybody here. We'd like to announce that we will have a 10-minute session for questions at the end. And just remember that we will share this recording session to other teachers and students to see it later on. Thank you once again, and Teacher Luz, for being here. And I will leave you to the audience. The audience is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Hello, everyone. I see some familiar faces. Thank you for coming. I hope this talk is useful to you. This is about my experience in action research. My experience is only in action research. It's only the time that I've been FIC. So it's interesting how fast one can go from one point to a different point. Just if you have any questions, you can type them during the presentation. If you can't hear me or something happens, please let me know. And any questions are very, very welcomed. Whatever discussion you want to have, I will be honored, and I will try my best to do, well, everything. And I hope you enjoy it and find it useful for you and your practices. So let's start. It's action research for TESOL, a personal experience. My name is Luz, and I am your presenter today. I work at Escuela Normal Fronteriza Tijuana as a FIC, like all of you, or most of you. Okay, so what is action research? Does anyone want to tell me? You can even read it if it's okay with you.
Okay, if I can read it, then I can.
Go.
Okay, thank you very much. Here it says, what is action research? Action research is an interactive inquiry process that balances problem-solving actions implemented in a collaborative context with data-driven collaborative analysis. That's it. Well, in my words, it is what we do with our practice. We practice, we do our teaching, and then we detect some problems, and we need to find the solution.
That is super correct. I like to say that this is registering teaching and learning processes, because that's what it is. Action research, it's perfect for teaching, it's perfect for teachers, it's perfect for trainees. So because why? Because this is what we do. We do it every day, we do it all the time. The only difference between doing the actual research and just teaching, it's one, registering, and two, having an intention. So once you have the intention to do research, the only thing that you have to do is register everything. All the processes, what you do, how you do it, how your students react to you, and all of what you're trying to do. It always, everything starts with a little issue or a problem. And we just have to ask, what is the problem? Or what am I looking forward to do better, or my students to learn, or try a different approach to this subject or to this little element. It can be as general or as particular as you want. You can start with a simple, okay, I want everyone to approve. Everyone has to go to the next level, as general as that, or as particular as wanting for pronunciation of a specific kind of words, and then work on that. So it can be as general or as specific as you want. The only difference between teaching and researching in action research is registering everything. That will be it. Okay, so if we start teaching, we do a lesson plan, we do research, we take some data available, and we try to do it and do this and that. We just have to register everything. That's what action research is. So when I put here a qualitative approach, teaching will always be qualitative. The reason why, it's because it's not hard science. It's social science. And for that fact, even if your data gets with percentages or pie charts or charts that are quantifiable, it's still something that you're doing for quality improvement of the teaching. So at the end of it all, it's still a qualitative approach, even if you have numbers. Okay, so this is very important, because action research for teaching, for education, it's always, or mostly always, unless you're just quantifying and you don't want to change anything, then it will be a quantitative. But otherwise, it's a qualitative approach, because what you're trying to do is to change or improve the quality of teaching. So this is why. Okay, so when they ask you, like, what's your methodology? This is an action research with a qualitative approach. Okay, what is the reason to do action research? There are three that are main and they're key to do it. One is to teach, the other one is to learn, and the other one is to share. Yes, sometimes there is money involved. We'll talk about it later. But these are the most important parts. Why? When I do research, I teach. I teach in a meaningful way. I teach thinking of all of my steps, trying to go from step 1 to step 2, and the teaching goes incredibly better or improved to when I'm not trying to register everything. The part that I say to learn, it's not my students. It's for me. I learn when I do action research. I learn how to treat them, what to do, what not to do. I learn from the mistakes. I learn from the outcomes. I learn from the processes. So it is self-nurturing, the whole thing. And the other one is to share it. Sharing is an awesome experience that everyone who has been in a conference before, you know what I'm talking about. When you go to a conference and you listen to someone else tells you that they're doing the same thing or they're dealing with the same problems you're dealing with, it's refreshing. One feels the empathy, okay, I'm not alone in this. We are a group of teachers. We are a whole world. Even when you go abroad to international conferences, you'll be amazed of how similar the situations or the problems are, even if the context are completely different. Okay, so the sharing part, it's a part that it's self-nurturing. It's something that you would really appreciate in this part. So I'm trying to encourage you to teach, to learn, and to share, because those parts are very, very important, very interesting as teachers. And as researchers, you learn from each other. And as teachers, we learn from each other. So this will be our lives or our teaching lives way easier. I promise. I promise about that one. Okay, so when to do action research? Now, yesterday and always, never stop. When is the right way to start, or what is the right way to start? Well, at the beginning of, if it is a new semester, a school year, a unit, a specific topic, try to do it since the beginning. It doesn't matter if it's the middle of November, you can start with a new topic, okay, or a new unit, or I will start with some project, a small project that my students are going to do for at the end of the school year. And it's always at the beginning. So what you have to do is just to set a hypothesis, establish objectives. You design your methodology, you look for theories, you process results, and you register everything. That is the most important part, to register everything. Okay, so start now. Right now, start thinking about what you've been doing, what do you have registered already, or what can you do in the next couple of months? What can you do for the end of the semester as an exit test or an exit evaluation for your students? Or if you don't feel ready, well, then you can start next semester, but I encourage you to start now, because right now we have this situation where we have to do everything. Technically, we have to register everything. Some of you are recording your sessions. You're getting like how many people attended, and all of these things that are already registered, you just have to look for them and type about it. So whenever you can start, the sooner, the better. Okay, how to do action research. For trainers, I divided this for trainers and for trainees. Trainees are our students, okay? Para todos los estudiantes, trainees, sigo en un segundo. But for how to do action research for trainers, for us as teachers, okay? First, you have to choose a topic, of course, and apply it to either your regular classes with every group, every semester, just teaching English and selecting what is your topic, what do you want to improve, or what do you want to work with, what do you want to try out, because all of that is important. The other part is if you are tutoring trainees, if you are part of the 7 semester, 8 semesters, and you have to do the tutoring for them to start practicing, then in that tutoring, you just register everything you are tutoring your trainee to do. Just register the whole thing. The other one are case studies. Case studies are following one person around. That's what it is. So you can choose one trainee and just follow them around everywhere, whatever they're doing, what they're thinking, how are they developing, and etc. You can choose, let's say you have a native speaker, and that can be a case study, and you can tutor this person to start teaching English at their practice schools, or do like a case study with this one person, or the opposite. Let's say you have an A0 student that you want to work with to see how they can improve during the semesters. You take them on first semester and you want to monitor them all the way and follow them all the way to see how much they improve in the 6 semesters that we have to teach them. So this is a case study, and you can do reports every semester. You don't have to wait all the 6 semesters, all the 3 years to have one result. You can have one semester at a time and have 6 papers that end up in one big paper. That will be like your 7th paper where you record everything. So this is interesting, and things that we can do or how we can do it. The other one is co-researching. I don't advise you to do more than 2 authors because usually they don't allow you. Sometimes they allow you to be 3, but not everywhere. So the usual is 1 or 2. So what you can do is to pair up with someone, another trainer, another English trainer, another FIC. Just pair up and try to do a similar thing, or work with each other to see how what you are doing complements what I am doing, or how we can do if there's 2 FICs in your school and both of you just work there, work on the same project, the whole thing, and write together. This is important because, and it's interesting because of the sharing experience in between one person and the other person. There's a lot of sharing and a lot of, okay, what are you doing? Okay, this didn't work for me. What should I do here? And you start having this conversation that can get into a very interesting outcomes. And then you can write a paper together. And the other one is that you can have a second author. I mean, you can be the second author. This is important in research. You can state yourself as a first author and then have another one, or be a second author. What is the difference? Well, some magazines or publications, they won't accept you to be the first author into papers at the same time, let's say that. But if you are tutoring someone, you can be a second author and then have your paper published and then be someone else's tutor. When you're tutoring on the first part that I was telling you here, you can do your own paper, or you can be a second author with your trainee. When your trainee is registering everything and you are tutoring them, you can set yourself as a second author in that way. That is something that it's very well accepted and interesting to do, because what you're going to do is to tutor your student to do the research while you're just giving your points of view and how to manage this and how to manage that. It's more like a teacher experience and working with them. So these are our ways. Yes, and once you gather your information, you just have to write down everything, okay? So going back, you can do just your teaching regular classes. You can tutor trainees and register for yourself. You can do a case study, which is following around one student. You can do co-researching with another professor, you and someone else, or you can be a second author when you are tutoring one of your trainees. Now, as a trainee, como estudiantes, me decían que son A1, ¿verdad? Lo digo en español, para que sea más inclusivo, más incluyente. ¿Cómo ven? Sí, vamos con el español en este pedacito, ¿ok? ¿Cómo puedes hacer, si eres estudiante normalista, cómo puedes hacer investigación, acción, ¿ok? Lo que tienes que hacer es registrar tus prácticas. Cada semestre vas 2 o 3 temporadas de práctica, depende del semestre, ¿sí? Y lo que tendrías que hacer es registrar todo lo que hiciste con los niños, ¿ok? La otra es que puedes buscar un caso de estudio, que es un niño en particular o una niña en particular que te llama la atención cómo está trabajando y qué es lo que puedes hacer con este niño o esta niña, ¿ok? En la que tú registras todo, platicas con los papás y vas viendo el avance mientras vas registrando todo, ¿ok? La otra es hacerlo con otro compañero. Cuando ustedes tienen, por ejemplo, les dieron la misma escuela de práctica y están 2 personas en la misma aula o bien 2 personas en la misma escuela, ustedes pueden hacer un proyecto juntos y trabajar los 2, ¿ok? Y la otra es con tu tutor, que es lo mismo que había comentado ahorita para los docentes, ¿sí? Pero al revés. En este caso, tú escribes todo, tu tutor te va a ir guiando, ¿sí? Tú eres el primer autor y tu tutor sería el segundo autor, que es la persona que te está guiando a cómo llevar las prácticas y cómo escribir todo el proceso. ¿Ok? Hasta aquí espero que no haya dudas. Y si sí, pues me preguntan al final. Ok. Back to English. Okay. How to present results. Okay. This is important because depending on where you're trying to present, they have different formats and different things. The usual is to write an abstract of 150 to 250 words. It depends on where you're presenting. Sometimes they ask you for 150, sometimes they ask you for 250. But the only thing that you have to write is an abstract. Okay? So your abstract must contain everything, but it's super compact, like very specific details, but it has to have everything. You cannot say like, oh, we are doing this research and the outcomes you'll see next. No, you have to say what the outcomes are on the abstract. You have to say everything in a couple of words, 150 to 250, which is less than 1 page. So you have to say everything, okay? Your introduction, your general context, your objective, your theories that you revised, the methodology, which is a type of research, population, sample, data processing procedure, everything, your results, your conclusion, and the keywords, which are a different, in a different line. But that's what he has to do. So he has to have everything, but super compact, okay? So it is important to write a very good abstract because this is what is going to make the difference between acceptance and rejection. Okay, the abstract. It's not the paper, it's the abstract. So you have to put everything into your abstract. It's a very, very short text. 150 words is like half a page, 250 is like a page tops. And in that page, you have to put everything and state everything, including results, okay? Including results, including saying what you got. So when you start doing great abstracts, then you start getting more acceptance, see? So that is going to make a whole lot difference. Now, after you did your abstract, then you can write your full paper, which is usually they ask for 15 pages, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on what you're applying to. And prepare a presentation such as the one you're seeing right here. For it to be 15, 25 minutes is the regular, the usual, what they ask you for. Okay? So what am I saying? Why am I telling you to write the paper after and not before the abstract? This is weird, right? This is because most conferences ask for only the abstract to say yes for you to write the paper. And if they don't find it interesting, then it's probably not a very good paper, so don't waste your time. If they say yes, then you have to write the whole paper. So here is a little difference. There are a couple of conferences who ask you to deliver the full paper in order to have an acceptance or rejection, but this is not the majority of them. Okay, the majority of them ask you for only the abstract. And this is why I want to encourage you to try yourself, make a very good abstract, send it out. They usually have months between acceptance and presentation. So in all those months, you can finish and complete your paper and then present it. Okay? So abstract, that is the key. If you write a good abstract, you'll have a lot of yes. Okay? Okay, permissions, budget, because this means money. Yes, it also means paying. Okay, so for permits, the most important part is always talk to your authorities. Always. Always talk to your principal, ask them if they can help you with this, if this is something that is between the budget or within the budget for the school, etc. If they say no, because all of the situations are different. In some schools, they have a lot of budget for research. In other schools, they don't have enough budget for research. Or if you're daring like me, and I tell my principal, I want to go to Thailand, and she tells me, of course, I don't have money to send you to Thailand, but maybe I want to go to the city that's next to mine, and probably they can fund that. Okay, so it also depends on where you're going and how much money it means for them to do it. So keep it in mind. Talk to your principal first, your authorities. Say like, I'm interested in sending a paper to this particular conference. What do you think? The costs are around here, etc. If they say no, this is what happens. Sometimes it's like they say, we don't have the money right now, but if you want to do it, you have the permission to go. So I really encourage you to self-fund yourself. What you are going to learn, in contrast of what you are going to spend, it's very different. What you're going to learn, it's so big. The experience is so big. What it means for your career is so big that it's worth it paying it yourself. I know that this is not supposed to happen, and this is why we have CONACYT, and this is why we have all the scholarships, and this is why we have all of these things, and it shouldn't happen. But if you are in that position, consider it. I'm not telling you that you have to do it, of course, but consider it, because it is something that it is for you. And it's not only the what you're going to learn from it. It's not only the experience, but it can also impact directly in your career, and it can also impact directly on your salary. So having all of these participations, sometimes it is important to actually finance them first, if there is no possibility that my school can do it. If they can, that is great. But if they can't, think about it. Think about it and go big. Go as big as you can. Okay? So what does the budget include? Usually it's around $100 registration. In conferences, it's 100, 150, around those lines. Okay? And some of them are free, of course, but most of them around $100, $150, plus your travel expenses. And of course, like I said, it depends on how far you're traveling. The expenses are going to go bigger or smaller for you, depending on where you're going. Okay, so keep it in mind. Okay, so where to present results? There are two major conferences in Mexico. These conferences have, they guarantee you a publication. So these are the most legit ones that they are, if you are a teacher. So CENIE, which is Congreso Nacional de Investigación Educativa, and CONICEN, which is Congreso Nacional de Investigación sobre Educación Normal. I think you are familiar with these two conferences. These conferences ask you for a full paper. They read it first, the whole paper, because they guarantee that they're going to publish it. And this is why, this is the difference. The rest of the conferences, you just have to send abstracts because they don't publish. And I'll go to there in a couple of minutes. What is the difference between presenting a conference and getting published? Okay, so if you want this for your resume, it makes a lot of difference. If you are going for PRODEP, or if you're going for SNI or for a Cuerpo Académico, then you have to be published, because the conferences by themselves, they're not that important. So you can present everywhere. You can present 10,000 of them. They won't count unless they're published. Okay, so what am I telling you? If you see a call out for papers for CENIE or for CONICEN, go for it. Do it, because they publish. It's a guarantee publication. So those two, very high in points. So try that. But for them, you have to send the full paper, no abstracts. Don't listen about the abstracts anymore. Write a hell of a paper so they can say yes. But because they say yes, when they say yes, they will publish it. And that is the big difference that it makes from one than the other one. Okay? After that, or I mean, there are plenty of others like TESOL, BBLT, ANUPI, Confien, and plenty more. Okay, what do I have to look for on these ones? They usually ask for abstract, and some of them have journals to publish. So after you went and presented at the conference, then you can look forward to get published. These are more difficult to get than the two above, and to get published in. But you have to make sure that they do publish, because not all of them do, therefore do not count. So it is important, and I will tell you for what to look next. Okay, this is in Mexico. For international, you can go to anything that has the words TESOL at the end. Technically, there are so many conferences. There are so many conferences in so many countries that you can just go ahead, look for conferences around the world that you can do it. There are a lot of them are virtual, but not all of them. So you have to just make sure where you want to do it. International publications are higher ranked than national publications, just so you know, for PRODEP, for SNI, okay? International publications are higher ranked than national publications. Beats me, I have no idea why, but that is a thing, okay? And virtual, there is one that you probably have heard of, because us having teacher email, we get everything from them, like a lot of things on educación, no, educare. So this is the CIVTAC, Congreso Nacional Virtual sobre las Tecnologías del Aprendizaje y el Conocimiento. And this is usually free. They cost $12 if you want to print participation, la constancia, and that is it. Okay, it's $12. That's it. And it's virtual every year. So you can do it September. It wasn't September, so it's every September. Look forward for callings for papers like in January. Okay, so this is another one that you can do from home. And that is also a great opportunity. Okay, so proceedings in publications, what we were talking about. Like I said, conferences are valid as participations, but not as publications. The only one that publishes is CENIE and CONICEN. So not every conference publishes, and not all publications are registered. So what you have to look for is an ISSN in journals or ISBN if it's a book. Okay? If they have that number, then they are registered, and then your publication will count. But if they don't have a number, they're not registered, your publication won't count. Okay? It would only count as a participation, but not as a publication. And publications are way higher in rank than participations. Like I said, you can have tons of participations, but no publications, and they won't take you. To have the publications. So this is what we have to keep an eye out for. So if you want to go to, well, whatever you want to go and do a presentation to the United States, let's say, you want to go to New York and do a presentation of the TESOL, just make sure that they have an ISSN for publications. And it's usual the proceedings. The proceedings are after the conference. So you send your abstract. This is how it goes. You send your abstract. They say yes. You show up. You do your presentation. And then after, you can go to the proceedings, send your full paper, and then they can start with the process of if they're going to publish it or not. Okay? So before trying, make sure that they have that kind of registration. Because if they don't, it won't be valid even if it's published and available for everyone. Okay, like I said, CENIE and CONICEN, they do publish it. And, well, I think I said already everything. Just so you know, when you send out a paper to publication, the process is very long. It's not as simple as in CONICEN and CENIE. It's very, very long. They send it back 10,000 times until they love it. Okay? If they don't like it, they will tell you since the beginning, no, rejection. Okay? Since the beginning. But if they said, okay, but you have to correct extensively until they like it. It's not a matter of doing a specific paper a specific way, but it is a matter of doing it the way they want you to do it. Okay? So this is both a bummer and also something that we have to keep an eye out, because everyone has their own layout, everyone has their own way to do it, what they want, what the topics are interested in, what kind of topics are interested in. So if you send a hell of a paper, but it's not a topic within what they want, they will say no. So keep that in mind, okay? And this is the most important part. What is the weight of rejection? It is very important for us to be rejected. It's part of the process. Take it as a compliment. Don't take it as a failure, okay? Rejection is part of the process. So what do you have to do if you get rejected? Revise and correct. Follow all the feedback, and then send it to someone else. Don't get your hopes down by saying like, okay, I worked for 6 months for this. Luz tell me that 6 months is enough, and I sent this paper, and then they tell me no because it is a very short period of time. Okay, that's not your right publication. Just take it down. Correct everything they told you, because they tell you things that are very valuable. So correct everything they told you and then send it to someone else, because whatever it's not what they were looking for in one place, it can be exactly what they were looking for in a different place. So keep that in mind. Always try again in a different place until you get your paper accepted. Just keep doing it, keep trying, keep working on it. There's always area of improvement. There's always area for improvement. There's always ways to make it better. So if you can keep making it better and even working like a second semester and improving everything and make it everything like with more data, more outcomes, more results, then that will be even better. And then you send more or well or better constructed paper to somewhere else. Okay, and if they accept it with modifications, like I said, work at it as much as necessary. This is a very long process. It's I can only guarantee that no one is going to say, okay, accept it the way it is. I will tell you, it's like, I don't think someone is going to tell you that. They're going to tell you it is accepted with minor corrections or with major corrections. And they will tell you what to correct. Okay, that process is long. They tell you what, and they give you a deadline. You work on it, send it back. They revise it, they send it back. You work on it, send it back. And this coming and going, it can take a long time. Don't despair. This is a very important thing. Once they said yes at the beginning, they want it. They really want it. So don't stop until they're happy with it, because you're getting published. Okay? So please keep that in mind. Keep working. Don't take no for an answer, okay? Okay, so what are the medium and long-term benefits for action research? This sounds very complicated, Luz. Why do you want me to do this? One is for your resume. This is a medium thing. You can get, if you don't have a job yet, having research will give you a better impression, okay? Will give you a better impression when you're trying to get to teach in a different school. And if you want like to teach at a doctorate degree or a master's degree, research, it's kind of like the first thing that they look for. So this is important because it opens up more job opportunities to have research and to have publications. It opens up more job opportunities, okay? And PRODEP, are you familiar with PRODEP? This is for us, for the FIX. It's a Programa para el Desarrollo Profesional Docente, and what it's looking for is for us to have the better development as a professor as we can. This includes money. So having this type of registration gives you a better salary, just so you know. What they look for is what have you done in the last 3 years regarding research. So as the more than you can have in 3 years, the better, because they will peak, and they're the ones that are going to tell you, this doesn't count, this doesn't count, this counts, and you have to have at least 3 publications. So 1 per year, at least, okay? Just so you're aware of this, and this means money for you, and this means money for your school. So this is something the principals look forward to, and sometimes they do want to help you with financing your getting away for some conferences, because that means that they're going to get money. The school gets money out of that, okay? So the other one is, once you get PRODEP, you can make a cuerpo académico, an academic committee, okay? You can be part of it. You need at least a master's degree. I understand that, but if there is a doctor in your group, you can have only the bachelor, and that's fine, okay? You just have to have PRODEP. That is the only thing. If all 3 people on your school have PRODEP, you can make a cuerpo académico, and then they send money to your school, which is something that is very interesting, because that's where the academic committees get their fundings to keep doing research, because that's what they're for, okay? And as a long term, Sistema Nacional de Investigadores. this is a very high rank. This means a lot of money. It's a very interesting thing to do. So it is a long-term goal. They are way more strict because Sistema Nacional de Investigadores are looking for science. They do take teachers, they do take teaching, but they are a little bit more strict than PRODEP. So once you have your PRODEP profile and you are part of an academic committee, then you can apply for the SNI. And well, it means a lot. Now you can become a researcher. And they also take less hours in front of your school. It's only 12. They cut it back, okay? And it also has like a financial aid every monthly, and it's quite nice, just so you know. So this is my experience. I started on 2019. I started as a FIC on 2018, but I had some issues and I had health problems. So I started teaching fully in February 2019. And I sent out a paper and I got rejected. I didn't work in it because I wasn't teaching that subject. It was in art. And I wasn't teaching that subject anymore, so I couldn't actually work it more. And then I sent to the Confien. I sent the social and cultural impact of elementary and kindergarten education students from escuelas normales practicing English teaching as a part of the training process. As you can see, the longest title ever, but I wanted to portray what I was trying to do. Then I learned, and then I started changing my titles too, because that's another thing, that it is important to be catchy, okay? And after that, I said to the SANIE, but I worked with a workshop, which was in art. I sent both paper and workshop. They accepted the workshop, but not the paper. It was on the same topic. It was Enseñanza de las Artes Visuales para Docentes No Especialistas. And well, I participated on that one. And then I went to Thailand. This is something that I talk about a lot because Thailand, it's on the other side of the world. I self-financed that one, and I would never regret it in a million years. The experience of talking to people dressed in burjas and saying the exact same thing that I was saying, it was very interesting. Seeing people from all over the world with the same problems, it was quite interesting. I got published on the Thai TESOL proceedings. It changed after, like I said, coming and going with the paper. The paper was called The Impact of Education Teachers in Training, Practicing English Teaching as Part of the Schooling Process. They changed it. They didn't like it because they thought education teachers was redundant. For us, somos licenciados en educación, right? And for them, no, you're a teacher. So I had to change that, and it changed to The Impact of Teacher Trainees Learning and Practicing English Teaching. That's what they wanted, and that's what I gave them. Okay. After that, I went to CONICEN, which they just changed. It was going to be on April, but they changed it to 2020 with one in Spanish, but it's about English, el uso del idioma inglés en los servicios de educación especial para favorecer la inclusión. And that one, whenever it happens, will get published. I just presented in next TESOL, TESOL as an inclusion tool for basic education. I sent that to the journal. I'm pending for approval. And I am presenting very soon in a CONFED, which is in Malaysia usually. They sent me, I didn't know about this. They sent me the invitation because I went to Thailand and I got registered there. And so they sent me an invitation. This is going to be virtual this year, so I don't have to move, but there's also something that you can look forward to. They also have a registration, so you can go to Malaysia. Malaysia is beautiful. And one can go there and just do it. There are things that we can do. Okay, and I got rejection on 3 papers. The one was the art one that I couldn't work anymore. The other one was I sent it to Singapore and Thailand at the same time. I got accepted in Thailand and rejected in Singapore, but it was the same paper. So I just went to Thailand instead of Singapore. And the last one was I sent it for publication here. It was in Spanish. It was rejected. So I translated to English and work at it a little better. And that's the one that I'm presenting in Malaysia in a couple of weeks. So this is what how things can look for you in a year and a half, because it's been a year and a half for me. Okay, and I have 8 papers out. So you guys can do the same thing. It's just 3 semesters that I've worked in this, and I already have 8 papers out. So you can have the same or more. Okay, I've been doing 2 every semester, 2 papers every semester, working with different topics with my students. I don't tutor. It's directly on the practices with my students. So this is just for you to have, this is not for me to tell you what I've done. This is for you, or hopefully that you can be like, better than that girl. I can do way better. And if I've done it in 3 semesters, you can do it easier and the way you want it, okay? So a few key considerations to keep in mind. Your style, they ask for APA, but only in citations and references. Just keep your eye out for their format. Everyone asks for a very different format. Don't go with APA, go with what they are asking for you. Follow requirements. Sometimes it's Times New Roman 12, 1.5 spacing, sometimes it's 2 spacing, sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. So just make sure that you're reading what they want. The usual length is 15 pages and the abstract 150 to 250. And lastly, this is the layout I use and I recommend. There are very different and many layouts for action research. And you'll find that some people don't like some points and some people love some points of this. This is what I've done and it works. It had been working wonders for me. So I hope it works for you. And it starts with a title, name and institution, then your abstract and keywords. In your introduction, you put a context on where you are, especially if you're doing it internationally, because they don't know what that is. Then you start with your problem approach, go for the question, set a hypothesis, objectives, and then the state of the art or the theoretical framework. This is where your citations work. This is the biggest part of your paper, right? Like all of the theories, even as a state of the art or as a theoretical framework, depending on what your goals are. Then you go to the methodology. You type your type of research, population and sample, data processing, how did you process your data, scope and limitation, ethical considerations, if any, and then your procedure, which is like your plan, okay? Then you state your results in tables, charts, and whatever other results you have, and then you discuss your results. This is a part that is very important because this is where you're going to compare your results with the citations that you did here and your hypothesis and objectives to tell that it worked or didn't work and how it worked or why it didn't work, okay? The conclusion is very short. They ask for 1 paragraph, different from what they ask in Spanish usually. And then lastly, your references, which I recommend for a 15-page paper, about 25. That's what they consider it to be enough. Okay, so are you ready to start? And thank you very much for coming, attending, and participating. This is a little bit about me. And I don't know if we still have time for questions. And if anyone has one.
Yes, thank you very much, and teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a moment right now, the 10-minute questions. So you feel free to open your microphones to join us for some questions for Teacher Luz.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Thank you. Well, more than a question is a comment. Thank you so much for all the information that you're sharing with us, because I was just telling Rocio that this is exactly what I needed. I don't know about the rest of you that are here and that you are interested in starting research, but you don't have enough maybe information, or we think that it's too complicated or that it's impossible to do it. That is something that has always held me back. So listening to your real stories and your successful things that you have achieved in only a year and a half has made me feel very motivated to start something. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank you so much. And everything that you say, I was just writing everything, and thank you. It really, really helped.
That's awesome. Thank you. I hope all of you do it. It's awesome. It's easy. It's easier than we think, especially going. I encourage you to go to conferences, listen to what they have to say, and check on them. And then you can start saying, like, I can do a better job than that. I can do a better job than that. And just do it. Do it and send it, because we can. We're very capable people. So, anyone else? Questions, comments?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I want to say, I also want to mirror Maria Fernanda's comment. No, it was not Maria Jose's comments. Your talk was very, very good, very well structured, very fast, simple, but complete. Very, very complete. So very good. You shed light in some concepts to me that were not very clear before. And I really like that. I am going to keep that with me. Thank you very much for sharing what you know in this way. This is the way things should be shared. Clear. Yeah, and not everybody does that. And this is very good. I mean, it's very clear and really motivating. I don't know. Thank you very much for this talk, Luz. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much. You would like to know more about data processing? Okay, let me see, because I didn't see it very well. As part of methodology, but don't know if that would take long. Okay, what does data processing mean? Okay, that is easy. How did you collect all of your information? How are you processing your results? And you can, for action research, since it has a qualitative approach, you can use Google Forms. It's as easy as that. Okay, so you can use Google Forms. You can gather all the information from your students, like ask them to fill in the forms, and it gives you immediate like pie charts and graphics and things like that. The other one is processing interviews. That is a little bit more complicated. I would need another talk like this to talk about how to process interviews. It is very interesting, actually, but that is another thing that you have to do when you interview people, and how do you chart it, and how do you recollect like all the data. But that is what it means, like what tools or what kind of processing. Did you do it by hand? Do they wrote like a diary, or how did you gather like or collected all the information? It usually includes quizzes or questionnaires, interviews, surveys, that kind of thing. I hope yes, in quantitative, the difference between quantitative and qualitative in action research is quantitative in action research only shows, but action research by itself should always be qualitative, because at the end of it all, what you want to do is to higher the standards of the teaching. And that's why you're trying to do something, face a problem, come and go, come and go. So yes, you can have numbers in qualitative researchers, and that it's absolutely fine.
Yeah. This is something that has always made me some noise, I mean, because I really love quantitative graphs and percentages. So you say that even if it is quantitative, it is going to be considered like qualitative and not mixed, or because it is action research. I have read that before, but as I'm telling you, I was not sure about why. You are the first person who mentions that.
Because at the end of it all, what you want, it's not hard science. So what you want is to higher the level of the quality of teaching and learning. So at the end of it all, unless you just present numbers without analysis, then it can be quantitative. But if not, you can just do both.
Yes. Thing is that I love percentages. I really do. I love percentages to prove something. I mean, 50% of my students have problems with this, and 60% said that blah, blah, blah. So I always do quantitative, but instead of qualitative, I don't even know how to do qualitative. I know that there are interviews or focus groups, but as you said, to process that information, many other sessions that I don't know.
The difference there is that you're probably doing qualitative approach and you don't know.
Exactly. Just with percentages.
You put your percentages, but then you explain what the difference is and how did they get 50% and how these are 70, and all of that explanation is qualitative. So that's how it goes.
Yes, because it is about how they are feeling and what to do with that.
Correct.
So yes, because of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have time for one more question or not? Someone has something?
Yes, we do have some time for some last question or last comment.
I wanted to say something.
Of course,
Can you hear me? Hello, hi.
Hi.
First of all, I wanted to thank, because I really, through your experience, I can really get motivated in order to say like, yeah, I can do that. But you know what? I have some trouble at the beginning, like choosing a topic. I think sometimes when I want to do some research, it's like, I don't think this is going to be interesting for other people, and then that kind of like makes me not want to do it. So how do you choose a topic, and how do you start? I mean, with this, and how?
Thank you for saying that. Yes, this is very important, and this is my experience. If you present a paper, a research, few people are going to attend. If you present a workshop, a lot of people are going to attend, because it is more appealing to go to a workshop than to listen to some data and stuff of someone who did some sort of research. But workshops don't count. They don't count for product, and they don't come from SNE. Only research counts. So it doesn't matter if you are yourself presenting with 3 people. What you did, it's way more, it has way more impact than giving a workshop. And I know workshops are very attractive. We want to go to workshop. We want to put ourselves and not just sit down and listen to someone, which can be very, very boring. And I understand that. But it's not as, it's the opposite of what you're thinking. Yes, you're probably not going to be super popular, but on the long term, you're going to have the most benefits of it.
All right. Thanks. Thank you for all the information. That's it.
You're welcome.
Well, then I would just have said that we still have some time, I guess. But if not, I'm going to talk on behalf of my school, from Normal Juan Dios Rodriguez Heredia in Yucatan, here in Valladolid. And I'm going to say, Teacher Luz, that this talk was really, really, really helpful. And I feel like connected to all the messages that the other people said. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much. This is just precisely what we needed, what we've been asking for, what we've been thinking about, like what to do, how to start with this research, specifically because we are in the thick, some of us or many of us are in the thick thing. So this is just what we needed. And just by saying that, I honestly, on myself, I feel motivated to start. Like, choosing
Awesome.
a topic, choosing something. I will start making my list these days. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
and
Thank you very much.
everything counts. Everything. It doesn't matter how, like I said, how general or how specific your topic is. Everything counts as long as you register everything, send out. That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know if there's another question around.
Teacher Rocio, are responsible saying anything?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the questions because I'm gonna text all mine to Luz tonight. No, that's true. No, you know what? I was like, I've been listening to everything, to all of you, and I'm really happy. I know that it was something new. Andre said it at the beginning. This is a very new thing in our school, in our context, and to be able to know this information. Maria Jose stole all my words because I was going to say that it was amazing, that we feel motivated now. So they said it all. Luz, you know that I am really happy to see you here with us. Thank you very much. Sandra, Patty, I see lots of familiar faces. And thanks to Confien, thanks to Normales, to this new experience, we got the opportunity to meet each other. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to work together. Andre, I'm going to start with you. So include me and let's do that list together, because there are lots of great things we can do for us, for our students, and for the whole community. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Rocio, for inviting me. I feel very honored, and I hope it helps you in any way. Like if anything, you can contact me. Just send me a text or anything. I don't mind, and I like collaborating. Like I said, we can do peer work. I don't recommend more than 2 because they usually just accept 2, but we can do a collaborative thing. I'm in Tijuana, and you guys there in Yucatan, we can do something together, see what differences or similarities we have in between one of 2 contexts so different and everything. But I'm always open to research. I like this. This is what I should do.
I know you have more questions, but you don't want to ask them. So no questions tonight. You cannot use WhatsApp. You have this room for your questions. Then tomorrow it will be a different story, right?
Yes.
I think that somebody asked about a book that you could recommend about action research. If there's a book, there's a question from the chat.
Okay. Well, I can think right now about a book.
Because there are many, right? Eliots are very old.
Yes. I really don't know what to tell you about that. Like, not from the top of my mind. I can probably look for some and share it at some point. But I would say go with what you know, and start writing. Technically, like the body of your vehicle, they usually don't look for very specifics. They just want to know how you improved and what are your results. So it doesn't matter, like I said, the layouts, they usually are very different from one place to a different place. And this is the one that I shared. This is the one that I use normally, because it has every data that I find that it's important to have established in order to actually be understood. And I've been learning in the process, and it usually works. So you can go with that if that helps you out a little bit.
Thank you. Great.
Well, on behalf, thank you.
Okay, so I guess that's it.
Yeah. That's I guess that's it then. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, teacher Luz, one more time. And I think there's a question there on the chat I just saw right now.
Let me check.
It says, which method, either quantitative or
Research for a
qualitative, do you
community.
think?
Okay, I see it. Okay, says which method, either quantitative or qualitative, do you think is convenient to carry out in research for a community that is of life, education, etc.? Yeah, qualitative. Definitely. Your data can be, or you can have some data that is quantitative, which are your percentages, your numbers, etc. But your development should be towards the qualitative thing. Like you can have numbers that is, they're not, they're not opposites. You can have numbers, but those numbers have to be interpreted in a qualitative way, and the way to say to higher up the quality of your teaching or whatever you're researching. When it's action research, since it's I do and then I correct, I take back, this is always qualitative. It doesn't matter like the numbers. You get these numbers and then you correct, and then you get different numbers, and then you do again, and then you get different numbers, and that is absolutely fine and perfect. So I recommend that.
Well, I think Rosie just said it right there. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. And I will say, let's have it a day. Let's have it a night.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for paying all the attention in the world. And I hope you start very soon to do this. It's fun and it's very enriching.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Luz.
Thank you
very much. And I hope this is like the first time we do this, right?
Awesome.
I hope we have the opportunity to do lots of things together. I'm really happy to see you all, and I wish you a very, very, very good night. Okay?
Thank you.
No, it's afternoon, but it's so dark. A very good evening.
Yay.
Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you, Dr. Luz.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye, Abelardo. He's another pick from Valladolid, Luz. And then Victor was here, but I think he left because he was in the other event. So we've been like moving all over the place.
Away. Yes.
Yeah.
Moving without moving.
Moving without moving. So we're the Yucatecan ones, like here. And I can see some of our students here. Annette is here. She's a first grader, a very, very good student. Thank you for being here, Annette. And everybody else. Luz, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for accepting. And then this is going to be a very good memory. It is a very good memory from now on, right?
That's awesome. Yes, it is for me.
Great. Perfect. So I'm going to leave you. I'm going to check on the other stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.